Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to solve the Rubik's Cube in around 8 steps, which is the easiest steps that I learned while I was solving the Rubik's Cube. Before we begin, it is important to learn about the cube notation and trigger moves that will help greatly throughout the solve. There are a total of 6 possible letters that represent which layer you're supposed to turn. For example, when you turn the right layer, the symbol is R. If you turn the left layer, the symbol is L. If you turn the top layer, the symbol is U for up. If you turn the bottom layer, it is D for down. If you turn the back layer, it is B for back. And if you turn the front layer, it is F for front. For this beginner method of solving the Rubik's Cube, only really the R, L, and U are necessary for this method. When you see the capital letter R, it means to rotate the right side 90 degrees clockwise. So when you're facing this front side of the cube, this is your right layer. But if you look at the right side, clockwise 90 degrees is this way. So from a front perspective, capital letter R means 90 degrees clockwise. If you see a capital letter R, but with a prime symbol, that means to rotate it one step counterclockwise, or 90 degrees counterclockwise. So once again, if you look at it from the right side, counterclockwise is this way. So from a front perspective, R prime is like this. The same goes for the left side as well. If you see a capital letter L, that means the left side 90 degrees. However, you may think that this is L, but instead this is L, because if you look at it from the left side, clockwise is this way. So from a front perspective, that's actually bringing the left layer down one step. Lastly, if you see a 2 followed with a capital letter, that simply means to turn the layer 2 times. For example, if you see U2, that means turn the top layer 180 degrees or 2 times. There are also sequences of moves that is going to tremendously help with algorithm learning, and there is only one trigger move that is required for this method. And that trigger move is R, U, R prime, U prime. In cubing, we call that the sexy move. The same can also be done with the left side, but the notation is a little bit different. Instead, it is L prime, U prime, L, U. The first step to solving your Rubik's Cube is to make a daisy on the top layer, which is a yellow center followed by 4 white edge pieces that surround it. To make the daisy, you must find the 4 edges that contain the color white. For example, red and white, green and white and orange, and white and blue. So to put them on top with the yellow center, you must make sure that the white edge is on this middle layer. For example, this edge piece is on the middle layer, and not this piece. This piece is on the bottom layer. Once your white edge is on the middle layer, you want to make sure that the white face of that edge is facing towards you. For example, this white and orange edge, and then you can easily put it up with the yellow center like this. Another example would be this edge, blue and white. I want to make sure that the white is facing me, so I can put it up with the daisy, with L prime. However, as you have noticed, I have kicked out this white edge piece already solved on top of the daisy. So I want to look for an edge that is not solved on the daisy. For example, I can see 2 white edges and then 2 yellow edges. We don't want any edge except for white beside the yellow center. So I know that this white edge will go here if I do L prime. So I'm going to move an edge that is not solved to that place so that when I move it to the yellow center, it will not kick out any other white pieces that I have solved. Sometimes the white edge may be connected to the white center, and this is very easy to fix. So all you need to do is to make sure that the edge connected to the white center is directly above the unsolved edge connected to the yellow center, and then you can do F2 to move it to the yellow side. For example, if this piece was over here, if I do F2, then I'm going to kick out this orange and white edge. So to make sure that doesn't happen, I'm going to put the unsolved edge right where the white edge is going to end up, and then I can do F2. Lastly, what if your white edge is not on the middle layer? For example, this red and white edge piece, it is technically on the top layer. However, the white face is not touching the yellow center. For example, if white edge is facing you, except it is on the bottom layer. So to fix this, all you need to do is a front F move, like this. Now this edge is on the middle layer, and like before, make sure it is facing towards you, and then you can insert it easily on top to the yellow center. In this case, I need to make sure that the edge is unsolved. For example, this edge is not solved, so I'm going to move it over here, and then I can put it up here without destroying other good edges that I've made. Another example can be found on this cube as well. This edge is flipped. I want to flip it. So all I need to do is one F move, and now it is on the middle layer. It is now facing towards me, but if I put it on top with the yellow center, I can see that it's going to kick out this red and white edge. So to make sure I don't do that, I'm going to find the unsolved edge, which is this blue and orange edge. So I'm going to put it where that edge is going to end up, and then I can do R to solve it. After you've completed your daisy, you want to make the white cross on the bottom. And this is a fairly simple step. All you need to do is to find the color that is not white on the white edge pieces. For example, I can see this edge, this white and blue edge. The color that is not white is blue, and all you need to do is to line it up with the blue center. Now that you have lined it up with the blue center and it is facing you, you just need to do F2. And repeat the steps for all other edges. For example, this red and white edge, the color other than white is red, so I'm going to line it up with the red center like this, and then I'm going to do F2. This edge is the orange edge with the white piece, so I'm going to line it up with the orange center like this, and then I'm going to do F2. And lastly, the green and white edge, the green is already lined up with the green center, and then I'm going to do F2. Now the white cross is complete. After completing the white cross, it is time to solve the entirety of the first layer. So to do this, you must find all corners that contain the color white. For example, I can see this corner, blue, orange, and white. And ideally, you would want this white face of this corner to be facing you if you're looking at it. Once you've found a corner that contains the white sticker, you want to make sure to find its adjacent color. For example, the adjacent color on this corner to the white color is blue, and you want to line it up with its center color. For example, this is a blue color. I'm going to line it up with the blue center like this. And when you're looking at the blue center, this corner is on the top left. So to insert this corner into the first layer, all you need to do is the left trigger move, like this. L prime, U prime, L, U. Sometimes you may get cases like this with the green, red, and white corner, where the white is on the top layer. However, the white sticker is facing upwards instead of directly towards you. All you need to do is to find the two colors that is not white on this corner. For example, it is the green and red. And you want to place it between the green and red centers. So I can see that the green center is right here, the red center is right here. So between them, it is on this slot. And all you need to do is 3 trigger moves. And make sure you can move this edge with those trigger moves. For example, I can do it the right-hand way, or I can do it the left-hand way. Since I'm right-handed, I'm going to do the right trigger move 3 times. A last exception is a white corner that is not on the top layer. For example, this white corner, it is on the bottom layer. So all you need to do for this is to do 1 trigger move with the right or left that can move this corner. So you just need to do 1 trigger move, and it is on the top layer. And in this case, it is similar to the previous exception. The white sticker is facing upwards, so I'm going to find the 2 colors that is not white, so red and blue. Place it between the red and blue centers, which is conveniently right here. And then I'm going to do 3 trigger moves. You can have a white corner that looks solved, however, the colors does not match its centers. For example, this white, green, and orange corner seems to be solved on the first layer. However, this orange does not match the green center, and the green does not match the red center. In this case, this edge is not solved correctly. So to solve it correctly, you must bring it to the top layer first. To do that, you just need to do 1 trigger move. After you have completed your first layer, it is time to solve the second layer. And to do this, you must search on the top layer once again, except this time you are looking for edges that does not contain the color yellow, orange, and green. This is a good edge because it does not contain the color yellow. Now, once you have obtained this edge, you're going to look at the color that is directly facing towards you. So for this edge, the color, when you're looking directly at it, the color that is facing you is orange, and you want to line it up with the orange center, like so. Next, you want to look at the 2 centers that is directly beside you. So for example, I can see that the green center is on my left, and the blue center is on my right. I'm going to look at the top color of this edge that I want to solve. I can see that it is green. And this time, I don't want to move it towards the green center. Instead, I want to move it 1 U-turn away from the green center, towards the blue center. The green center is on the left. I'm going to do 1 left trigger move. As you can see, this displaces this corner. You want to solve this corner once again. However, you just need to turn the cube once, and this corner is already lined up with the green center, and it is on my right side, so I'm going to do 1 right trigger move. This will bring the edge along with the corner and solve it. Sometimes you may run into cases where the edge that does not contain yellow is already on the second layer, however, it is not solved. For example, this edge. I can see it is the same connected to the red center, it is solved there, but if you look at the other color, it is blue and green. That means it is not solved. To solve this, you must put this edge on the top layer. To do that, you can just make sure that it is influenced by your right or left trigger move. And I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do the right trigger move. And I'll solve this corner once again. So it is aligned up with the green center. It is on my left, so I'm going to do the left trigger move. Now, this edge is on the top layer, and you can solve it using the previous method. So blue is facing directly towards me. Line it up the blue center. Orange is on the left. Red is on the right. The top color is red, so I want to move it away from the red. But the red is still on the right side. I'm going to do 1 right trigger move. And once again, I'm going to solve this corner. It is already connected with the red center. It is on my left, so I'm going to do 1 left trigger move. And you have successfully solved this edge. It is the same case with an edge that is flipped. For example, it's already on the second layer. It is a red-green edge, and it is between the red and green center. However, it is just flipped. Same case with the previous case. You just need to do 1 right trigger move or 1 left trigger move, and then solve the corner, and you will have this edge on the top layer, and you can solve it normally. It is time to solve the last layer. And the first step to solving that last layer is to make a yellow cross. Sometimes you can have a case where you have no edges that are facing upwards with the yellow color, or you can have two edges that are facing upwards, or you can have the cross already solved for you automatically. In this case, I have two edges that are solved. There are two possible cases with two solved edges on the top layer. You can have a straight line, a small L, in like this, with two edges that are solved. If you have two edges that form the shape of a small L, all you need to do is to place this L on your top left corner, and then you can do this algorithm. F, one right trigger move, F prime. That is going to give you this line case, and making sure that the line is placed horizontally when you're looking at it from the front, and then you can do the same algorithm once again. So F, trigger move, F prime. This will solve the yellow cross. Sometimes you may see that you have no yellow edges that are solved. For example, when you're looking at the yellow center, no edge around the center is solved. To fix this, all you need to do is, once again, the algorithm I taught previously, which is F, one trigger move, and F prime. Now you get the small L case. You want to put it on the top left corner, or one edge is on the 12 o'clock position and one edge is on the 9 o'clock position, and you can do the algorithm F, trigger move, F prime, and then just do it once more. F, trigger move, F prime, and you will have the yellow cross solved. The yellow cross is now completed, and the next step is to solve the entirety of the yellow face. Three possible scenarios. You can have 0, 1, or 2 corners that are already solved. In my case, I have 2 corners that are already solved. For cases with 0 or 2 corners solved, you want to have a yellow sticker on your top left corner. For example, if you're looking at the left side, you just want to make sure that you have one yellow sticker that is on the top right. So once you have had a yellow sticker in this position, you can perform one simple algorithm, which is R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, turning the top layer twice, R prime. Once again, in this case, I have 0 corners solved, but still, I'm going to put one yellow sticker, so that is, when I look at the left side, there is one on the top right corner, and I can do R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. The ideal situation is a cross case with one corner solved. This is the final step of solving the yellow face, and it is to place the solved corner on the bottom left corner. So in this case, it is on the bottom left. I can perform that one algorithm one more time. And the yellow face is solved. Sometimes when you have one corner solved, and you put it on the bottom left corner and you perform the algorithm, you will get the same case again. But you are just orienting the corners in a different position. All you need to do is to put it on the bottom left corner and then perform the algorithm once again. Do it twice, and then you can solve the entirety of the yellow face. After you have completed your yellow face, we want to solve all the corners. Yes, although all the corners are theoretically solved, it is not completely solved. There are two possible cases with solving your corners. You can have two corners that are solved that are adjacent to each other. For example, this corner and this corner, they're solved, and they're right beside each other. Or you can have two solved corners that are directly opposite of each other. For the case with the two adjacent solved corners, you want to make sure that they're solved and on your left side. Once they are on the left side, you're going to perform an algorithm. This algorithm goes like this: R, U, R prime, F prime, which is the front face counterclockwise, one trigger move, R prime, F, R2, turning the right side 2 times, U prime, upper face counterclockwise, and then R prime. After you have completed this algorithm, you'll see that all of your corners are completely solved. If you have a case where if you line up two corners and they're solved diagonally, do not worry. All you need to do is to perform that algorithm anywhere once. R, U, R prime, F prime, one trigger move, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime. And then line up two corners that are completely solved. For example, these two. Now they are adjacent to each other, and you want to put it on the left side once again and perform that same algorithm once again. This will always lead to you solving all of the corners. You are on the last step to completely solving the Rubik's Cube. All that is left is the edges because you have just solved the corners. And there is one algorithm that you need to learn. The ideal case that you want to get to is a case where you have one complete block and then 3 other edges that need solving. The algorithm that you need to know requires that you put the completely solved block right in front of you and perform this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R prime, U prime, R2, U prime, R prime, U, R prime, U, R. Sometimes you need to do this 2 times. So after I've done that, it is still not solved, and I can see the complete block is over here. All you need to do is to line it up with its center, and then perform the algorithm once again. R, U, R prime, U, R prime, U prime, R2, U prime, R prime, U, R prime, U, R, and then U2. Lastly, you can encounter cases where there is no blocks like the previous examples. So all you need to do is to perform the algorithm at any angle that you want. And you'll end up with a solved block. And we can repeat the process and then perform the algorithm. And you have now learned to solve the 3x3. Thank you for watching this video.